so we can share this after for you and your teammates. All right, well, thank you all for coming again. I'm Rob Manfredi with Bamboo Solutions. Today we're going to talk about one of our products for SharePoint Online, Employee Directory Plus, but we'll do a quick background of Bamboo. Then we'll take a look at the licensing and how to access free trials of the product. And then we'll get into what are the new features of the latest release of this product as well. So let's go ahead and just talk quickly about Bamboo. I believe, yeah, I'm sharing. All right, great. So we are a provider of software for Microsoft 365, as well as consulting services for Microsoft 365. So our little company lives, eats, and breathes everything around this Microsoft platform. On the product side, we've got over 8,000 customers worldwide, from Fortune 50 down to small not-for-profits in Malaysia. So everybody seems to be wanting to fill some of this functional white space within SharePoint. We've built products for on-prem forever, and we have taken those products and rewritten them from the ground up to function within SharePoint Online. Number one, to address the new market. Number two, so our existing customers on-prem, as they migrate to SharePoint Online, also have access to those same functionalities for their users. So we like to say we provide low-cost, high-value solutions that really make your users happy to use SharePoint and more productive. So we always like to say that our experience makes us best in class and guarantees really a top-notch expertise in what we do. So we've been doing this for over 10 years. The Bamboo products have actually been around for over 20 years. We purchased that company in 2016. I had worked for them for a number of years and felt we could give it some good leadership and direction. So we went ahead and acquired Bamboo in 2016. We're about 40 people. So I always like to say we punch above our weight. We're out there not only doing great consulting jobs for our customers, but we're building just awesome products that are used by companies worldwide, and with a very high satisfaction rating. Just so you know, we're located here in Reston, Virginia, which is in Northern Virginia, right outside Dulles Airport, with our support team located here in Reston, Chicago, and Alabama. All right. So on the services side, we do a lot of Office 365 migrations. That's both to the government cloud as well as people wanting to get off of, let's say, GoDaddy Microsoft 365 and move into the Microsoft 365 supported by Microsoft, or from Rackspace and the like, or from Google or other aspects. So we've got a great migration team out there. We do just straightforward consulting on architectural guidance and road mapping, administration support. We actually have a great help desk solution called Microsoft 365 Plus, which enables us to provide not only help desk for your users, but also monitoring of your security and your security score, and really any configuration that you need to do within the Microsoft 365 platform. You can simply open a ticket with us and we'll take care of that. And that service starts at $40 per user per month. So lots of things to partner with us on, but today we're going to take a look at one of our products. If any of that is of interest to you, please reach out to us, and we'd love to start a discussion. Okay, Employee Directory Plus. So let's first go ahead. What's the best way to do this? I'm going to jump over to the website to give you a quick tour of the website, and then we're going to get into the details because they'll flow better together that way. All right, so our website is bamboosolutions.com. If you come into products, the green products on the right are for the on-premise SharePoint 2016, 19, 2022, and the blue ones on the left are for SharePoint Online. You'll see similar names, right? We got Calendar Plus here and Calendar Plus here, but this is the on-prem version, right? That's a server install, and this is the SharePoint Online version, which is an SPFX web part that's installed into your app catalog. We have pricing that we're going to get to, but we do want to note that we have special small business pricing for both corporations and not-for-profits located here. All right, so if we go into view all products within SharePoint Online, get rid of our mega menu, we get a list of the 25 products that we've developed with a nice little summary of each of them so you can eyeball those and see if there's anything that's interesting to you. We do have a free version of this product, Directory Plus. It is completely free and you can use it on your site. It just does not have any of the filtering that the paid version has. So if you're a smaller company and just want to bring a employee directory from Active Directory into SharePoint, you can just use this free version, and we'd love to hear from you. On the paid version, which has all of the advanced filtering that we're going to talk about today, especially for our larger organizations, the web page itself has a nice overview, some screenshots of what the product does. It also has pricing. So this product is a perpetual license and maintenance model. So this product is $1,850 in the first year. That includes first year maintenance and a perpetual license for your entire tenant. So like I said, low cost, high value solutions, right? Second year, if you want to continue maintenance, which would give you the help desk support as well as new features that we release, it is 22% of that. So that's what, $350 a year to maintain your support for the product. Now, if your SharePoint domain has more than 2,000 users, we have an additional support fee, not a product fee. So the product is $1,850 plus $360. But if you are over 2,000 users, you would click here, and we've got simply a way to cover our additional support for our larger customers. So if you're between 2 and 10,000 users in your domain, there'll be an additional $2,500 a year support fee. If you're between 10,000 and 100,000, it's $13K, and if you're over 100,000, it's $39K. That's per account, not per product. So once you pay that per year, you can buy as many products as you want on that like $1,850 price range, right? So it's like being in the club. That's really good. It allows us to provide the support we need. And we've had a couple customers that were just over this 10,000. We can talk and do something special for you, so you're not necessarily getting up here. We tried to make the bands big enough, but there's always a break point. We want to be reasonable about it, but we also want to make sure that we provide the support you would expect from somebody who's providing an application to help you run your enterprise. If you are a small business, come back over here. If you are a small business, we have a pricing for our small businesses. So if you are a company with fewer than 100 employees, or if you're a not-for-profit or an education institution under 300 employees, you simply only pay the maintenance cost of the product, and you'll get the perpetual license and first-year maintenance as well. So that's a way for us to really reach out to the market, make sure we're supporting our smaller organizations and making sure they have access to the productivity tools that they need. So that's a little bit of our pricing. Again, it's not a subscription. There's no per user per month pricing. It is a perpetual license and maintenance model for your entire domain. If you're a small company, we've got special pricing. If you're a bigger company, then we have an additional support fee per account per year that helps us do what we do as a small business to support you. All right. What I also wanted to point out, is on the product page, you see this try buy button. We support fully trial licenses that you can install into your 365 tenant. It's a 30-day trial. No credit card is needed. No purchase is needed. You simply use it. We'll support you. We'll help install it. We'll walk you through how to use it. At the end of the 30 days, you can either buy it right online for the $1,850 and the enterprise support if it's appropriate, or if you're a small business, we can provide a quote that way. So very self-service. We want you to try this product before you buy it. We want to make sure it fits in your organization, and we want to make sure that everybody's happy with it because, again, there's not enough money in here to be full enterprise sales. Plus, these products are not that complex. They're sophisticated in what they do, as we'll see, but they're meant to be in your toolkit, in your arsenal of things. So you should have 7 or 8 of these or 9 of these products that help your users navigate through Teams and SharePoint and the like. Okay, so let's go over here and take a look at what Employee Directory Plus is and what are the new features we've released. We've had a great year with this product. I think we released it at the Collab 365 conference last year. And in that time, we've got, 8 to 10 very large organizations that have adopted this because they want to provide employee directories and other features like the birthday anniversary within their SharePoint portal without creating a separate list of that information. They want to tunnel into Active Directory where that is the single source of the truth. A lot of times they've got to clean that up because it's not clean, but now that they're using that data, they say this is where it should reside and bring that into SharePoint. So essentially what we're creating is a filterable, searchable directory of your team members pulled from Active Directory. We're going to display icons and phone numbers and titles and a little bit of organizational structure as well in there. Then there are action buttons that allow you to make phone calls, Teams calls, set up appointments, send emails, and the like at the click of a button. We've added a new feature called the Special Occasion feature, which would allow you to use an attribute with an Active Directory for a hire date or a birthday. and display a list of users that have birthdays within this week, within this month, and really highlight those team members for being with a company for X amount of years or the like. And again, we've talked about the perpetual license as well. So the new features we've added are really meant to support scaling of this product through large organizations, right? When you're in SharePoint Online, you've got to fight a lot of things that Microsoft is trying to keep you from doing, which is like pushing a lot of data fast. So if you've got 30,000 people in Active Directory, or if you're a school system and you've got all your students and your teachers in Active Directory, how do we make a meaningful employee directory within SharePoint and the like? So the way it works is on your SharePoint site, we put Directory Plus. There is a configuration settings within that product that speak to the Graph API. Now, the Graph API is the gateway for SharePoint to talk to things like Active Directory, Excel, Intune, Outlook, OneDrive. So it's a way for us to programmatically get data from other sources. In this case, we're going to your Active Directory and we're grabbing the employee data that exists there, as well as the extension attributes. For the icons, we're actually grabbing those icons from SharePoint because pulling images over through the Graph API was a bit of a throttling headache. And I think we're actually using a location that has all the same icons from Active Directory. So they're not necessarily the ones that the employees put in. So anyway, we've done some tricks there and making sure that we can get those icons of those people without having to keep pulling a bunch of images through that Graph API. So if we're pulling data from Active Directory over to SharePoint, what you end up with is on the page. This is actually 3 different instances of Employee Directory Plus. This is one configured to show everybody who has a birthday within this month, and we've called it the birthday list. You can call it whatever you want. And then we have everybody who has a work anniversary. You notice we left the year off. You can actually add the year on the work anniversary, and it does paginate if you want to make it a certain size. And on the right is the searchable directory. So all of this data that's being displayed on a team site or on your HR site or on a specific finance site is filterable. So I can show only the people that are from the finance group or the finance group in Rapid City. Once that directory is there, right, you get the summary and you can choose what you want to show in that summary or not. I can search for anything you're displaying within this summary, or I can click on the alphabet and it will give me all the people whose last name begins with a P or an M or an N, and they work in conjunction. So if you get a very large list, you can do the search against a refined selection. So what we're doing is something that's very meaningful, but it's also coming from the single source of truth, which is Active Directory. Now, when you get into very large organizations, we need to do some filtering and some caching. So let's take a look at the type of filtering we do. We have 2 types of filtering. We have post-cache filtering. That is, once we bring everything over to SharePoint, we can actually filter there. And then we also do pre-cache filtering, which is the new option. And what that allows us to do is limit the amount of data that we're pulling from Active Directory so that we're not overwhelming the Graph API. All right. So on the post-cache filtering, once we've cached everything over into Employee Directory Plus, you can do some filters like, I want to filter out all employees that don't have employee IDs, right? So that takes out all the conference rooms, the assets, maybe students, which is a key thing. They don't have employee IDs. And that allows you to really say, okay, these are my active users, even though Active Directory's got a lot of other stuff in it. Then we also allow you to filter further against a specific department, and you get your values there. A SharePoint group, so you can fetch your SharePoint groups and turn that on and just say, you know what, I've got a SharePoint group with a select number of people in it. Those are the people I want to show in Employee Directory Plus. You can do it by office location, and then you can choose how many items per page you're going to show before you get the pagination going on. Whoops, geez, hold on, sorry about that. On the pre-cache filtering, this is where we get a little more interesting, because let's say, I don't want to bring down all 30,000 people and then filter without employee IDs, because that's a lot of stuff. And really, out of the 30,000, 2,000 are teachers, and the other 22,000 are students. So I don't even want them pulled into SharePoint because it's just going to be too much data and take a long time. So we can actually pre-cache, right? So we get a lot of the same query filters: city, department, email, employee type, job title, location, and user type. And then you've got includes, does not include, or starts with, and you can join multiple things together. So let's say for this specific thing, I don't even want to bring into my post cache filters anybody that does not include US, or rather does not have an email address, or does not have is not in these office locations or user type. So what this does, it allows us to filter down the data that we're bringing over here that we can then run our post cache filtering on. And this was really the secret to allowing this product to be meaningful for large organizations that are going to have this installed in many, many different sites for different reasons, but not have to deal with all of their Active Directory data at once. So pretty cool. Pretty sophisticated. Again, for a product that's $1,850, you're really going to get a lot of use out of this. Now, we talked about caching, right? So you can choose to cache the data or not. If you're a smaller organization, every time employee directory loads, it can go grab that data, right? And it will use the your filtering options. But so if you're 100 people, you're not going to need to worry about cache. It's going to be very fast. If you're over 1,000 users, you're going to want to cache that information. And once you turn caching on, right, then the pre-cache filters come into play. And then you can also say, how often do you want that data refreshed, right? Because you got hires and fires going on, or offboardings, and what's your employee count today might not be the same tomorrow. But once a week we want it updated, or every 3 days we want it updated, or every day if it's that important to you. So again, you can choose how often we refresh that cache with the settings that you have on there. We do have some safety in there, so that if you turn cache on and you are over, I think it's, I don't know, like 3,000 or 4,000 users, we'll say, you should probably start doing some pre-filtering before you start running this cache, because it's a lot of data that's going to come through. And we just want to make sure that safety first, that we're not accidentally pulling up more data than you want when you're not ready to do that. So we have built in some safety features there as well. Okay, so let's take a look at how this product is installed, and how we go from there. Did we get a question? Yes. Let me see. Oops, do I get more people that need to come in? Uh-oh. Shoot. All right. For those of you that we just let in, sorry about that. We did record it, and we're not quite done, and we're just about to take a look at the product. But the first part we went through really some good stuff, so we'll make sure you get a copy of that before we leave on there. Whoops, that's raising my hand. I didn't want to do that. Did I see a chat? Yes, those were ands and ors in the pre-caching. This one here. So an or and then the logical join. And we'll take a look at this real quick and look at the options there once we get into the actual product. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the product. All right, so let's take a look at just Directory Plus. So I've got it on a page. So the product is put into your tenant app catalog or a site collection app catalog. We support both. And then once it's there, when you edit a modern page, right, you simply hit the plus button. Come on. Been doing this all day long. Maybe I'll go to the other one. All right, we'll edit this page. All right. or maybe not. Hmm. Well, that's interesting. That's not cool. There we go. Good old SharePoint. Or it's the second time. All right. So here's the web part in the edited page, right? So you add it simply by hitting that new web part, right? Button here gives you your list, and you can see Employee Directory Plus is then in your uh, tenant, your app catalog, and then you would just add it. Once it's added, all of our products are configured through this little gear icon, which you need contributor rights to be able to edit. And we are essentially going to look at the data, our display filters, and then our pre-caching and our post-caching, and then the special occasion feature, right? So in here, when the product is saved, it will begin fetching data. So you have some display options. You can turn on or off the avatar, the department, the email. So any of these attributes out of Active Directory, you can turn on or off, which is going to be in that little card data, right? Then your filtering of data, right? In this case, we're filtering out anybody that does not have an employee ID. But if I wanted to also turn on a department filter, I get my departments here, so that if I put an Employee Directory Plus on, let's say, my ops site, it would show only the folks that are in operations. So that's the idea of the group filter. And then you can turn on your SharePoint filter, so you get your SharePoint groups here. And then your office location, so that if you wanted just the folks in Reston or in Rapid City or DC, you could select them as well. So that's kind of cool. If you've got an HR group that is in Rapid City and they've got a page, then they could have their directory there. So it's really just a way of refining the amount of people that are in this specific instance of Employee Directory Plus. So this is where we turn on our caching and the frequency in which we want to cache that data. And then this is our pre-filtering. So we've got the or, which is match any of the filters, and an and is match all the filters, like we asked before, so that this will limit the amount of data that's pulled down into Employee Directory Plus before we run these filters on it. And this really helps prevent any sort of throttling or large data issues that are just not necessary. So again, one of the reasons we built this was for a couple of universities that had 30,000 people in Active Directory because all their students were in there. They didn't want to bring anybody in that was of an employee type student, right? So, or, does not include student, right? So, or something like that. So you get some idea, and you can separate distinct filters with a comma value, so you can actually have multiple values over here. And again, what this does is limit the data universe that comes down to the web part before you start running the post filters on it. And this really allows you to keep a smaller data set for specific purposes. And then down here is the special occasion feature. So if I choose to turn on showing one of the special occasions, we give you a list of your hire date, your IDs, and your extension attributes, which you can use to store any sort of data in there, right? And then once you choose that attribute, right? Actually, let's do employee hire date. We can say anybody that got a date within this week or this month, right? We're going to call this anniversary, happy anniversary. And then we'll keep it the month, day, and year, but you can actually change this to however format you want. For birthdays, obviously, people don't want to put years on. For anniversaries, you definitely want to put years on there as well. So by turning that on, we can then have that information displayed in the card as well, right? Which we're not going to do. We're going to keep that there. But what's key is once you set up that information, right, on the directory, we talked about being able to do a search, right? So if I'm looking for Cantelé, I can just type in his name. If I'm looking for any sort of senior consultant, I can type in, part of senior, and I get all my senior consultants from the company. If I want senior consultants that end in a C, I get Sean, right? If I go to M, I get nothing, right? But if I get rid of this search and just M's, it's Rob Manfredi, which is me. When you click on a user, you get the ability to give them a quick call, Teams video, email, start a chat, set up an appointment, or actually dial their cell phone number. So we've got all that information in there. And by clicking on these hot links, you can do that. We see their emails, their title, and we also see who their manager is as well, which is all built out of the Active Directory. So one of the things we're looking at doing is actually building a configurable org chart that's clickable that allows you to drill down into this information in a different view, because we do have all that information in there. So that's coming up in an upcoming release, which you would have access to as part of your maintenance. So pretty straightforward, but also really kind of nice. So if we look at, let's say, our internal portal, and we go to working at SPX and the benefits side, what we get is information about benefits, but then we get a list of all the people that are in operations. So for us, it's a small company, it's just 4 of them, but it's nice. We've got all the information that works. It's been filtered down to those that are just in operations, but it could be operations in Reston, or it could be a specific team site or a team. And the like, and you end up with a really interactive directory of folks that is a nice complement to your homepage. And if we go to the shoot, what we can see here is it again in what we call birthday and anniversary view. So in this case, we've got it tucked in this little corner, and it's a dynamic list of folks that have a work anniversary that began this month. And the like. We use kind of dummy data on this, so everybody's in here, but you get the idea that this would be dynamic and changed. And one of the things we're going to add here is a little button to wish them a happy birthday. So it'll send them a little Teams chat or something quickly to wish them a happy birthday on their birthday if you wanted to do that, or a happy anniversary. So again, what the product is doing is really 2 different things. It's this special occasion feature, right? Or it's a full directory of users and the like, and you can actually put them all on the same page, which we see here. We've got the birthday list, anniversary list, and then the full thing here. So I think that's pretty much what I have to show you today. Again, our license, we have free trials on our website that allow you to download this product, set it up. We'll help you with the configuration and installation at no charge. You can use it for 30 days. The pricing is $1,850 for a perpetual license for your entire tenant. If you're a small business, we got special small business pricing, which is maintenance only. If you're a larger business, over 2,000 users, there's an additional support fee, not an additional product fee, that helps you get the support you need when you need it. So thank you all so much. We'll send a recording of this around to everybody once it's ready, and we hope to hear from you and love to start a trial. Thank you all for coming.